I just got a Yamaha KP65. This is an electronic kick drum pad. So let's open it up, check it out, and then we are going to hook it up to the kit and see how it plays. I'm excited to try out a Yamaha product. I have not played on any Yamaha electronic drums. For the price, 75 bucks, I figured this was a great one to try. This is advertised as having room for double beaters, so we will check that out. It looks like there is an extra input for a pad. I think if I understand correctly, I could plug in a second pad to the kick drum and it will pass along any triggers from that pad through the kick drum and to the module. I'm going to be connecting this to my Roland TD-17KVX2 kit, so we will find out if the compatibility is there. And I've seen lots of people use this particular kick drum as an upgrade to their Alesis kit, so it appears to be compatible there. So whatever your reason for checking this out, we will know in a little bit if it is worth it. Let's tear into it and see what we got. Okay, so in the box, of course, a manual. I have looked at that a little bit online prior to the arrival. Here's the brace that will connect to the kick drum to keep it from falling over and scooting around. A couple of spikes on the bottom. And this is a pretty tough, like coarse plastic Velcro. So that seems like it could be potentially good for not sliding around. So I will have to fasten this. Here is the pad itself, and it is a dense rubber pad, but it's got some squishiness to it. We like squishy. So this has a little bit of room to breathe. I've had rubber pad kits before where it is just a solid, dense piece of rubber and they can get pretty uncomfortable. Kick drum, you know, it's probably not going to affect my feet as much as it would my hands playing with sticks on a rubber pad. So this feels solid. Everything looks clean. It is not humongous, so I'm gonna put a double pedal on this and we'll see what we got. On the back, we have our input for a secondary pad to come in and also do some triggering, I think. We'll test that out. We have a level adjustment here, which I have read it's kind of talked about more as a volume, but it sounds to me like it's more of a sensitivity. So we will experiment with that. And then of course, 1/4 inch output to go to the module. Oh, and you also get a 1/4 inch TRS cable to connect it to a module. However, I will be using the existing cable with my TD-17. Now, I have a Roland TD-17 module. Most of the drums and cymbals are connected to the module with a snake. So it is one piece that goes in the bottom of the module. And then there are a whole bunch of 1/4 inch cables coming off the end of it. And one of them is for the kick drum. So I will be plugging it in there. Hopefully it will just fire up, pick it up, and we'll be good to go. So we will find that out. I was about to go get a screwdriver to attach these two pieces, but we've got wing nuts back here. So that makes it easy, no tools. Oh, we do have washers though, so be careful. There's a flat washer and a lock washer back here. If you happen to jumble them off of there, the lock washer goes out towards the wings of the wing nut and the flat washer goes up against the bracket. Now these are slotted openings, so it's not just a fixed hole where these are going to mount. So there's some adjustability there. Okay, this fits in here nice and snug, and my washers fell off. It's being a little finicky with how it lines up, so I'm going to put the bolts through the plate first and then find the holes. And I'll put these through just enough to keep the holes lined up, and then we'll adjust and snug everything down. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So we have some room to work with here. These can cant forward and back to adjust the cant of the kick pad. Once I get a pedal on here, it is going to pick it up some. So I can use this to level it out, trim the angle of attack. So all the way down, it's canted farther forward. I can slide it back up and it is going to tuck it back a little bit. So what I'll do is keep this loose for now and put a kick drum pedal on and then make some adjustments from there. All right, our favorite demo pedal. This is the DW5000, battle tested, battle worn. Look, if you've never put a kick drum pedal on a pad before, this is how you do it. You want to center your pad. That actually looks pretty good for height and laterally. So you just center it on there and then screw it down. Now the kick pad is standing more upright. Seems good to go. See how the kick drum is now standing more vertically, and if we want to adjust this further, can slide these down and it's gonna pick up. Okay, so this is where this adjustment is gonna be important. We want the front of the kick drum pedal to be laying flat on the floor. So with this in the upward setting, it is picking up the front of the kick drum. But what I want to do is scooch it down so the kick drum is sitting more flat on the floor. Then the kick drum pedal itself is going to be able to dig in. It's not going to be scooting around anywhere, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be playing this with my foot. I'm going to be stomping on it pretty good. I'm going to be using a double pedal, and there's not a whole ton here to keep it from scooting around on me. I do have these spikes, but it's not like there's a ginormous 24-inch kick drum sitting in front of me that's going to resist movement. It's important that I have these set so that everything is making contact with the floor. Spikes are into the carpet, not too far to the point where it's picking things up, but we just want a good solid foothold on things. So far, everything looks good. It seems like a good solid pad. Moment of truth, let's connect it to the module and see if Roland recognizes the Yamaha KP65. And actually, I don't even want to wait. I'm going to grab the 1/4-inch cable and I'm going to bring it around. We're going to find out right now. Pad in, kick drum. Let's turn on the module. Okay, are you ready? I'm a little nervous. We're connected. Here's a moment of truth. We have a kick drum. It's at this point in the video that I feel like maybe I should explain why I'm so overly excited right here. I had to send my KD10 back to Roland for servicing, so I had already been without that one for 2 weeks. In the meantime, I was able to hook up an old Alesis kick drum that I had laying around, so I was at least able to play. The night before I shot this, that one stopped working, so I was without a kick drum, unable to play my kit. I scrambled, ordered the Yamaha, got it the next day, and I was very, very excited to see that it did in fact work right out of the box. Sweet! Okay, so that is confirmed. The Roland TD-17 will recognize the Yamaha DP65. Awesome. Like I said, this is going to be a great backup kick drum for me. If anything happens with my primary, I can't play my kit, so I gotta have something as a backup. 75 bucks. Let's find out how well it works with the double pedal. Oh man, it's a little. There's room. As you can see, it fits just fine. I kept my kick pedal exactly where it was and slid the Yamaha in there. I tightened down on the kick pedal, and now I'm going to put the spikes down into the carpet a bit. I can already tell the plastic Velcro that is coming off the front of this brace holds really well. I had to yank it up a couple times to get it positioned correctly. And I'm gonna go ahead and spike it down. And then the other thing I'm going to do is these wing nuts are still loose back here because I want to get a good angle where everything is sitting nice and flat on the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of press down on everything, make sure we're at a happy angle, and then I will snug those wing nuts down. Then we'll put this thing to the test. I also have not messed with the level yet, so I'm going to keep it centered, and I'll play around with the sensitivity from there. And then we will also try out putting another pad into this jack to find out exactly how that works with an external pad connected to the kick drum. So that playing test was with the level or sensitivity, I think, right at the middle. Let's peg it all the way to minimum, down all the way towards the left, and see what we got. Oh, very quiet, actually. Let's do the other extreme, and we will turn it all the way up. Okay, obviously louder. I'm going to leave that at about 12 o'clock right in the middle because the volume was fine and the sensitivity seemed fine. Up too high, I was not getting like any false triggers or anything like that. So I'm going to just leave it right in the middle, and then if I discover that I want it to go one way or the other later on down the road, I have somewhere to go. All right, for the next part of the experiments, I'm going to use the cable that came with it. I want to find out what happens when I connect something to this jack right down here that says pad in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug one of my toms and I'm going to replace that cable. So now this pad, the signal from that is coming out and is going to go into the kick drum, and we're going to find out what happens. Okay, nothing. Not really what I was expecting there. Ah! Okay, so we have a pad going out. We have a pad in. I'm not sure what that's doing. All right, we have a straight up mystery on our hands. Let's find out in the book. Maybe it's in the special messages section. Okay, connecting an external pad can be used to send two trigger signals, one from the 65 and another from an external pad connected to the 65. So it's sending two trigger signals. I am going to look in the Roland module and see if I can select a different kick drum type in the module, and maybe I will recognize a second signal. Let's do this. Right, isn't that right? Let's try this. Now, what we're gonna try is sending this into the auxiliary input, because in order for these to carry two signals, they've got to be TRS. This is a TS. This is kind of a mono cable that goes to the kick, so it is only designed to recognize one signal. So what I've done now is I've taken my splash, which I have plugged into the auxiliary input on the back of the unit, and I've plugged that in here. So it's initially going to be triggering a splash sound, and then I still have this tom connected as a pad to the pad in on the Yamaha. So let's see what that does. Now this is going to be a splash sound, I think. It is. If I have thought through it correctly, this should make another splash sound. Nothing. Weird. I am not sure what to make of that. Did I do it right? Yes, that is going in because that's triggering a symbol. Is there something I need to do? I don't know. So we'll go back to the drawing board on this one. All right, so aside from a little mystery there with the pad in, I'll play around with that and see if I can come up with more. If you know how to work that or what the intended purpose is for that, please feel free to put it in the comments. It's a mystery to me at the moment, but the whole purpose for me buying this kick drum was to have a backup if my primary kick drum is out. Like I said, if a cymbal goes, if one of my drums, even the snare or a hi-hat goes out, I've got some options. I can get creative with it. Kick drum, I'm stuck. If I have no kick drum, if I have no backup, I can't play my kit, period, done, the end. I'm super happy with it. It is sturdy, it's solid, it's comfortable, it's simple, it's clean, there's room for 2 beaters, it plays double kick just fine, it responds just fine. It is recognized, just plug and play in my Roland module. It's a little smaller than I was expecting, but it works great. It's solid, it's not moving around on me. For 75 doll hairs, I'm happy, man. I got exactly what I wanted. We'll see how it holds up. I'm sure I will post something after I've played on it for a little while. I'm gonna keep it down here and put some reps in with it, and we'll see how it does. If you wanna learn about the double kick pedal that I'm using, the Yamaha Speed King, that is Yamaha. It is the Tama Speed Cobra 310. Go ahead and click here for a full review of that pedal. Otherwise, click here for what YouTube knows that you want to watch next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.